what you try to establish as absolute viewpoint, because God's clockwork mechanism does have a way of throwing a custard pie in your face. In terms of what Jeff is talking about, I think probably the most extreme example of that, where I don't know Alan well, and I don't know Alan now, but I don't picture Alan as being in that category. Anthony Burgess intentionally wrote A Clockwork Orange in the hope of fomenting this true revolution in the United States. He didn't want it circulated in the UK where he lived, but evidently his wife or his girlfriend or his ex-wife or whatever it was gang raped by a group of American soldiers at some point. And this was going to be his revenge, that he was going to write A Clockwork Orange and turn it loose on the United States. And consequently, all of these wives and girlfriends of Americans would get raped the way his wife did. And it's like, that seems really, well, first of all, a really, really low motivation for creativity. To attempt to do that seems to me as close to infernal as you can get, without taking anything away from Anthony Burgess's prodigious writing ability, which I don't think anyone can do who has read him at all. But I don't think the world actually works that way. And certainly, if that was his plan, I don't see any evidence of troops taking over the United States. Which gets into a linked question, and this is one of the problems that I'm having here is Anonymous posted about organized anarchists. Well, that's kind of a contradiction in terms. That's like military intelligence. You don't organize anarchists because anarchy is supposed to be anarchy. But I really don't want to address what this individual said because they're posting anonymously. Jeff Seiler is saying, I'm Jeff Seiler. This is what I have to say as a Cerebus fan and as a Minneapolis resident and inhabitant for a number of years now. So consequently, I see it as Jeff being a stand-up guy and, put his money where his mouth is, and, he says what he thinks and he thinks what he says. Somebody posting anonymously, I think that's one of our major problems, and that's one of those, sorry if you're in a job somewhere where if they find out that you're posting to a moment of Cerebus, you might get fired or you can be called to HR or whatever the reason is that you're posting anonymously. But I don't think anonymous benefits anyone in a democracy. If you're not willing to put your name to something, then I'm just not going to deal with your opinion. If you want to resubmit the same opinion with your name attached to it, then I would have been happy to include this individual in the discussion. But that's just a personal preference on my part. Having been anonymously attacked by everybody in the comic book field for 26 years now, I'm sorry, I understand the people who think that this is really cool, that, yes, we have to just deplatform this person and destroy their career because that's what social justice is all about. I can't go along with that. That, to me, is totalitarian, getting into what is their actual